Check, check. Hey everyone. Guys, this is gonna be a different video, I guess. It has to be. It's 4 a.m. right now, where I am, and I woke up at least 10 times throughout the night, and I'm really having a hard time with something. So I needed to make a video about this because it's really plaguing my mind and it's really crucial right now. You know, we're losing so many people to this opioid crisis. At the time that I'm making this video, it is January of 2023 now. I'm 43 years old, and I have lost count of how many people I've lost, how many people I've known throughout my life that have lost their fight, their battle, and their lives to addiction and to mental health. But with the journey that I've walked with coaching especially, I truly do believe that there's a whole other side to mental health that nobody ever talks about. And obviously, you guys know me by now. I'll talk about it soon enough. But I recently lost someone that I wasn't terribly close with, like I was with some of these other people that I've lost. But this one hit me pretty hard. And it hit me pretty hard because of his family. He was young, and a young wife, and very, very young children. And if you're watching this video, then I'm sure you can agree with me. Him losing his life, that could have been any one of us. That really could have been any one of us. And the point behind that is that while there is this entire topic of mental health, there's another side of addiction that nobody ever talks about. And I know it's hard to talk about. But here it is, guys. We can't spend our lives chasing the high, or we'll die. There's no way around it. Like, as an addict and as a dependent, somebody who says they're not an addict but says they're mentally or physically dependent on a substance or substances. Our body is not designed to continually be chasing the high, because we constantly one-up everything that we've just previously done and taken and mixed. And no matter what, guys, the body is going to give out eventually when we do that. That is why recovery is so important. Because ultimately, while we know that there's people in our lives that need us, or say they need us, our kids do need us. Our spouse does need us. Our parents do need us. Our friends and family and siblings and lovers, they need us. But let's just say that they don't. Let's just say that you're someone who no one needs you. Let's just say you live your life independently and you're like, well, nobody needs me and nobody wants me. Well, fucking wake up and look in the mirror and say to yourself, I need me. I need me. Because you need you. Or you will die. Whether you take your own life or you lose your life, you will die. And I am just I'm so overwhelmed and I'm tired of losing people I love and care about. You know, my ex-wife, I usually don't talk about her, but I want to say something that's really important because this is unfortunately a problem with many other people as well. But she didn't know a lot of addicts. She wasn't close with any. She didn't lose people in her life. And so one day after I had lost another friend to his addictions, and this one really hurt me. He was a close friend. And then, just after that, like 2 weeks later, a friend from high school, a friend that I went to high school with and I wasn't really close with, but we hung with the same people. And he was a great kid. He was just a great person. We lost him. And so I was really down, and I shared this with her about losing somebody I really cared about and was good friends with, then losing someone I went to high school with. And I had always told her when I would lose friends. I didn't always tell her when I lost people I was working with. I never talked about my clients with her or anyone. But I told her that I had lost these two friends. And then one day in an argument, a dispute that we were having, she decided to throw that in my face. And she said, well, what kind of a person are you if all of your friends are dying from drugs? Needless to say, my opinion on her changed in that moment. And it never went back. But I have lost a lot of friends to drugs. And drugs and mental health don't mix. And drugs and alcohol don't mix. And drugs and steroids don't mix. This is why I'm an advocate for Kratom. And I'm not an advocate for even alcohol. Because alcohol kills, takes lives. Drugs take lives. Kratom saves lives. Even THC. I've never smoked weed. I'm not into it. I don't like that feeling. I kind of wish I did. It would make things easier. It would give me another option for pain management. But even THC seems to save many lives. And why aren't we promoting the means to save lives over the drugs that take lives? Why aren't we advocating on a global scale to promote substances? And remember, that's not a bad thing. A substance isn't a drug. A substance is a substance. Kratom is a substance. Kratom is a substance that saves lives. Heroin is a substance that takes lives. Fentanyl is taking lives all over. And what are we doing? Letting it in our country. Somebody's saying, yep, bring that shit on in. Come on. Kill more people. Kill more of our people. Everywhere. What is going on? Because I know that the people making those choices are not watching these videos. The people being affected by those choices are. They are killing us. And ultimately, we are responsible for ourselves. We know that. We are responsible for the choices we make. So we have to make better choices. We have to wake up and say, I'm going to make a better choice today. I'm going to get off X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to make the decision to replace it with Kratom, THC. Get on a recovery program. Because buprenorphine does help. It does help many people. But sadly enough, they are then linked to that ball and chain and told, sure, you can take this for the rest of your life. So I don't want to get into the harm reduction of every drug and substance. Why one is better than another. But in this video, I want you to know that you need you. I know that I need me. I know that the 6 kids that are my entire world, that I chose to have, that I love with everything and every part of me for the rest of my life into eternity. They need me. And while there's other people in my life that need me as well, ultimately, I need me. I need me to show up, to make better choices, to cut the unhealthy ties. I need me to save my own life. And you need you to save your own life. Now, in this moment while you watch this video, because you may not get to make that choice tomorrow. And I'm sure we all know somebody who didn't get to make that choice today. Friends, I know that life can be overwhelming, and we can bear a burden that seems too much. Seems like we're being asked to wear the burdens of the entire world. The pains that I'm in every day, physically, are just so immense. From my brain injury, to my back injury, to my legs, to my nerves. And sometimes you just want to break from your pain. And sadly enough, sometimes there's no options. But I want you to remember, in the moment that we are in the most excruciating pain that we experience, we think to ourselves, right? This is how it's going to be from now on, right? How many of you think that way? I do. When I get that horrible pain in my hip that shoots down my leg, down to my toes, and up my spine, from my sciatic nerve up into my brain injury. Then my brain injury gets activated and shoots pain behind my eyes. And the tremors, I'm shaking. And I can't feel my right arm through the pins and needles because it hurts so much. Like, friends, these are pains I wouldn't want anybody to have to bear. But that peak level, that top level, that amount of pain that I get to where I go, this is the worst pain I've ever experienced. That's not permanent, right? We know that now. We always come out of it, it drops a little bit, it may only drop a little bit. It may only lessen a little bit infrequently, but it lessens. So I need you to remember, this too shall pass. Right? That's something that we have to remember. This too shall pass. And then after today's video, I also want you to remember You need you. So every day when you wake up and you look in the mirror, I want you to tell yourself, I need me. And that's gotta be enough. And then everything else beyond that, and everyone else beyond that, is just bonus. Because we need us. So please remember, friends, if you are struggling with an addiction of chasing the high, you can't sustain that. And you already know that. We all do. We know what we take on, but we have to make a decision to cut that tie, to break that stronghold. Because it's going to get better each day, as long as we are working towards that. Now remember, a lot of addiction is within our neurotransmitter system. So if we're chasing dopamine and serotonin highs and better feelings, there are other ways that can give it to us. And the reality is, the less that we chase it artificially with drugs and other substances, the more our body will naturally respond organically to situations, circumstances, instances with heightened levels of dopamine, with more beneficial levels of serotonin, these things that we feel. It's not an artificial high or a buzz or a hit, but eventually those natural and those organic hits fulfill us more because it's then associated with something positive in our life. And so that association becomes gratifying. The anticipation of doing that activity again becomes gratifying. That's another reason why making love to a partner that we are deeply interconnected with is so fulfilling. And that's why eventually porn just becomes another substance that numbs us. But making love is the greatest gift God has given us. So look at the rest of your life in that way. It's the same thing. The natural, organic, healthy hit of dopamine versus that artificial hit that eventually wears off or numbs us or essentially kills us. Alright guys, I gotta go back to bed. I'm really tired. But I had to get up and make this video, or it would have just continued to plague my mind. I really do love you all very much because I feel an energy from so many of you coming through your comments, through your messages, through your emails, through your client calls. Some of you choose to do Zooms and I see your faces, and I want you to know that I love that. I love that. So friends, tomorrow is, well, I guess today's just Monday. It's Martin Luther King Day here in America. And that's a special day for us because it means something big and it's associated with a great man. But then the day after that is Tuesday. And after that is just Wednesday. So we have to get through those days. That it's just another day. Stop associating something with getting high or buzzed. Stop associating going and doing something with the high that you have felt while doing it before. You have to do that. That's how you have to cut that tie first. You got to go do that thing sober. There's so much in this life that God has given us to enjoy. And that's why I try to make these videos, to put all the truth out there for you. Transparently, so that you get to make the decision. And you know the truth. But now remember, you are responsible for what you do with the truth. I think that's why a lot of people like to live ignorantly, believing lies. Because while they may think to themselves, well, that doesn't sound like the truth, at least it keeps them ignorant. And they're not responsible for what they need to do about knowing the truth. But now you know the truth, and that truth is that you need you. And you are responsible for doing something about that. So I want you to start today. I want you to start in this moment because you need you. All right, friends. I'll catch you in the next video.